I'm joined in studio by Minister Donald Grant. He's the Minister of Transport and Public Works in the Western Cape. And he's going to speak to us about an issue that has become very close to many South Africans' hearts, and that's the issue of transporting children in bakkies and just how dangerous it can be. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Great pleasure.
Now, as you know, there's been horrific news recently about a terrible accident where children died after being transported in bakkies. And I'm hoping that you're able to just help us understand the law when it comes to transporting people, specifically children, in the backs of bakkies. Could you please start us off with that?
The founding legislation is the National Land Transportation Act, which regulates on public roads. And if it is for reward, in other words, if the driver or the company operating the scholar transport system is operating for reward, then there are a number of things that need to happen. Firstly, driver competence. The driver must have a professional driving permit and an operating license for the vehicle. Obviously, the vehicle then itself, which is the second part of the equation, because safety depends on the driver and it depends on the quality of the vehicle. So obviously roadworthy certificates, the state of the vehicle, and then if you're looking at bakkies themselves, there's a specific clause in the NLTA that if you can imagine the buck of a bakkie at the back, if the children are then seated, there needs to be from the base of the back at least 350 millimeters so that they are enclosed safely while sitting in the back of the bakkie. If on the other hand it's a vehicle where the learners might be standing, then there must be obviously material for them to hold on to, as one would do in an airport bus, for example, or in a My City bus, where the passenger safety is relied on by that support while they are standing. So these are the commonplace and common sense things that need to happen by operators.
But of course, it's fairly obvious what happens when those rules aren't adhered to. I want you to please speak to us about why it's problematic that there are so many bakkie operators transporting people not adhering to these guidelines.
Well, obviously there is a profit motive for some of the operators, and therefore they may cut corners on vehicle roadworthiness and safety of that vehicle, be it their brakes or their tires or their steering or the many things that can go wrong with a vehicle themselves. But it's also about the attitude of the drivers towards the care of their passengers that is important, that they follow the rules of the road and that they endeavor to get those learners safely to and from their destinations.